Hey, what's up, sports betters? It's Matt Modi with OddsJam, and if you couldn't have guessed it already, we're going to bet some baseball today. Kind of a fun baseball slate. We have 4 day games going on, which is great. Always fun to sweat out a bet during the day. To do a recap of yesterday, finally had a good day betting on baseball. My profit was just under 130 overall. Total picks went 3-2. My 2 big bets going 1-1, but the one that hit was for plus 100, so pretty much canceled that out. My 3 unit bets went 2-1, so was able to get a profit from there. And then my small long shot 2 unit play for plus 185 odds barely lost. I had under 3.5 first half runs. They scored exactly 4, which was tough, but still, all in all, I'll take a good day. Funny enough, a yes run first inning did hit, which I've had terrible luck with recently, but that gives me hope for the future. So moving forward, like I said, we're going to bet some baseball today. So of course, all the bets that I find on OddsJam, I get using the positive expected value page. Just to give a 15-second recap of how this page works. So these lines you see here on the OddsJam line are pulled from the sharpest bookmaker, the most accurate bookmaker in the world. These are going to be viewed as quote unquote the true line. So then, as you can see, the no VIG odds here, we remove the VIG and then provide situations in which you're getting more favorable odds on another sports book. Sorry, that was about 20 seconds. But that's how the positive EV page works. So for me, whenever I'm scanning through deciding what plays to take, there's a couple things that I look for. The most important thing to me is this column here that says market width. Essentially, anything that is 25 and below is within range of something that I would take, but anything that is 15 and below is quote unquote McSlam worthy. That's a really, really tight market, and you can find some really valuable bets in that 15 range. So that's kind of where I start. I look for something 15 and below, and that's kind of where I start my day. So there's a couple things that I liked, but one that I really liked here was this first half run line, the Athletics versus the Red Sox. So the Red Sox are pretty decent favorites here, but if you actually look into this game, pretty distinct pitching advantage for the Athletics. Rich Hill has really struggled, especially at home, and Paul Blackburn is the Athletics' best pitcher. So I love getting their run line at plus a half. So essentially, if it's tied, this bet hits. It's 14 cents in market width, which is well within range there. And the odds are at plus 100. And the OddsJam line has this at minus 110. The other side of it is at minus 104, which is where we get the 14 cents in market width. And then with the VIG removed, this bet is priced at just under minus 103, essentially minus 103. So that gap between the minus 103 and the plus 100 is what gives this bet positive expected value. Another thing I like to do is just look into the markets to see where everything is priced at. And we can see a pretty decent discrepancy here between all the books, right? Plus 100 is the FanDuel line. Minus 110 is the OddsJam line. Every other book has it closer, if not worse odds than the OddsJam line. So this is a true pricing discrepancy for me. So I'm going to go ahead and lock this one in on FanDuel. I've had a rough go of it on FanDuel recently, so I'm actually just going to put just under 100. I'm going to put 95 on this one because that's all I have left on FanDuel. If you look at my bets, I did cash out of one. I guess maybe that's not showing up here. Yeah, I did cash out of one because it ended up not beating the closing line. Rough parlay. I had really good luck on the parlay a couple days ago, 2 days ago. Not as great luck yesterday. And then I had some 2 big WNBA bets that lost, which is why I'm struggling with FanDuel overall. So if there's another bet that ends up being on FanDuel, I will just deposit more money into it. But as of right now, just putting the $95 on it. So now, of course, I need to add this to my bet tracker. So click the plus button. I put $95 on it. Click save. Good to go. This is my first bet for today's MLB betting slate. The Athletics run line first half plus 0.5. So this next one that we're looking at here is this over. It's basically yes run first inning in the Mets versus Brewers game. So admittedly, like I said, I've been getting slammed on these yes run first innings, but I did have one that hit yesterday in this actual game, which makes me feel a little bit better about it. I also like this one, well, for a couple of reasons. Number one, let's just start with the math. So the odds that I'm betting it at are on BetMGM at plus 105. The OddsJam line has this at minus 116. The other side of it is priced at plus 100. So the market with here is 16 cents, which is still really good. It's not quite McSlam-worthy, but it's still a really tight market. And with the VIG removed, it's priced at minus 107. So it has a pretty wide gap between the OddsJam line, even with the VIG removed, and then what we're getting it at on BetMGM. So again, if you open this up in a new tab, look at the discrepancy amongst the books. We see that every book pretty much has this priced closer to the OddsJam line, except for DraftKings, which has it at for plus money for even money. But FanDuel, minus 112, Caesars, minus 110, BetRivers, minus 104. So and no book has it for plus money, except for, again, DraftKings, which is even money. And then if you click into the game on MLB.com, two pitchers that have kind of been struggling and two really good offenses. So the yes run first inning hit yesterday. I have faith that it's going to hit again today. So this one is just going to be a 3-unit play for me. I'm just going to put $75 on this one. Yes run first inning plus 105 odds. $75, place bet. And we are good to go there. So this is going to be my second MLB bet for today. Now again, let me make sure I just add this to my bet tracker. Click save, and we are good to go there. All right, and I have another bet right here that I really like. We're looking at the Padres run line minus 2.5 against the Cubs. So of course, this one is positive expected value. The odds that I'm betting it at are plus 123. This one's on BetRivers. The OddsJam line has this at plus 112. The other side of it is minus 129. So this one only has 17 cents in market with it. So again, this is within the 3-unit range for me. With the VIG removed, this was priced at plus 119. So of course, let's look into the markets, see where everything is pricing it at. Number one, we do see a pretty big discrepancy between all the books. So again, plus 123 are the odds that we were betting it at BetRivers. Plus 111 is the OddsJam line. And every other book has this in the teens. BetMGM, Caesars, FanDuel, all have this in the teens, closer to the OddsJam line. So I like this value of getting this plus 123 on BetRivers. And then, of course, for baseball reasons, there's a couple. One, there's a huge pitching advantage. The Padres have one of their best pitchers on the mound, Joe Musgrove, against a bad pitcher for the Cubs in Matt Swarmer. The Cubs have also been reeling. They've lost 9 straight, and the Padres have just been absolutely crushing the Cubs in their series. They won like 19-5 yesterday. So I like getting the run line and a point higher, 1 run higher than what it's actually priced at. So selling a point, getting it for a little bit of greater odds. So I'm going to go ahead and lock this one in on BetRivers. This is going to be, like I said, a 3-unit, $75 play for me. But I do think that it's a really good bet, so I'm going to go ahead and lock this one in. So I have it up. Here we go. Good to go. $75. Place bet. And we are good. So that bet has been placed. So now let me just add this to my bet tracker. $75. And that is going to do it for me today for my baseball picks. So I just have 3 total. If you're tailing these, again, would love to hear it. Let me know. Comment on the video. Let me know you're tailing. Hit me up on Twitter. Let me know you're tailing at my handle, Modi_Matt. Other than that, would appreciate if you could like the video and then subscribe to the OddsJam YouTube channel. But that is all I got for you. So thank you guys for watching, and have a good one.